Brian, we staan aan de vooravond van een nieuw voetbalseizoen. Kun je aangeven waar Feyenoord momenteel staat?
It's a really difficult answer to make really concrete in that aspect. I think when you enter a new season, there's always some question marks, both from players-wise, squad-wise, style of play, and all these things. It's never easy to give a concrete answer in that aspect. I think we're in a good state. We obviously release some energy from the win on Sunday against PSV in the Johan Cruyff, so that definitely released some things in a positive way. And then we know tomorrow's game is going to be completely different. But we're in a good state. We're on a process of creating a new team and just in general a new way to play in some aspects. So we're on a good way, I think.
Waar heb je deze week de nadruk op gelegd? Wat betreft die wedstrijd tegen PSV, was dat op de 4 tegendoelpunten of juist de 4 doelpunten die jullie maken tegen de kampioen?
It was a little bit of both. Obviously, we're happy to score 4 goals away from home against the reigning champions for sure. I think also it was a couple of nice goals, a couple of nice moments in the game offensively. And then of course, I think any coach is never happy conceding 4 goals. And definitely, if we ask my colleague Peter Bosz as well, he's probably also disappointed in the goals conceding. So 4-4 is never nice in that aspect. So we definitely talked about the defensive shape, which I still believe we need to do better in a lot of aspects. And we're working on it. The boys are proactive. We watched a lot of video this week as well. And then of course we've been pushing now to prepare for Willem II.
Ben je waar je wil zijn? Of na deze voorbereiding en ook de vele tegendoelpunten, overweeg je toch om misschien toch nog het systeem wat meer aan te passen?
We're definitely not where we want to be in that aspect. I think that's normal when you concede 4 goals. I think you also need to take in consideration the period of the transfer market, the period of the preseason, players coming in at different times also plays a role in this aspect. When it comes to the system, I'm lucky. I don't read everything that you guys are writing, and I don't follow that news. I try to stay focused on helping the team best way possible. And I don't think whether we play a back 3 or back 4, we cannot concede goals like we are doing at the moment, and that's the ambition to do even better. I also watched games from last season where Feyenoord also struggled in a back 4, so you will always be able to concede chances. The question is what you're going to do about it, and the question is what is going to happen over the coming period. And for sure there, I know we will step up and do even better. That is definitely one of my biggest strengths is to make sure that we can play attacking football from out a good structure.
Vorig seizoen was je er niet, maar Feyenoord startte vorig seizoen erg slecht. Het hele jaar heeft Feyenoord eigenlijk achter die achterstand aangelopen. Wat proef jij bij je selectie wat betreft deze seizoenstart?
Yeah, we definitely talked about it. I also look at the stats and look at the games, and just today in the pre-match meeting, I also showed them pictures from last year, the first 3 games of the competition, losing to PSV in the Johan Cruyff, 2 draws then. It's not the start we're looking for. We already ticked off 1 box by taking the trophy in Eindhoven on Sunday, and now we need to make sure we get ourselves, result-wise, the best start possible, and that is for sure to pick up 3 points. That is definitely the aim, and that's the ambition, and that's what we need to do every time we play here at the Cup. So I think all the boys are aware of what happened last season, and we're not there to do the same again.
Hoe is het met je selectie? Welke blessures heb je?
Things are actually progressing. We had Geesmal on the pitch this week. He will also be part of the squad for tomorrow. Julian Carranza the same. Also been training whole week and looking really sharp. So it's actually more or less the same ones missing out. Gerno is doing his rehab really well. Q as well, and doing his rehab. It will still take some time for sure, but he's in good condition with the medical staff, and sometimes he's a little bit on the pitch, and sometimes he's in the gym, but he's just with them separate. So he's still got a long way to go. I think that's also what he posted on Instagram some days ago. We're happy to see him in football shoes, but there's a long way to go.
Het is ook nog onzeker hoe Feyenoord er na 1 september uit gaat zien. De transfermarkt sluit dan. Ben je nog bang dat er toch nog spelers vertrekken? Want er wordt getrokken aan spelers van je. Anjko.
Yeah, no, I think I said it a couple of times already. This is a tricky period for any coach, not just here in Feyenoord. It's a tricky period. I expect the squad will be strengthened. I expect that players will come in. We lost Mats Wiever, we lost Minte from last season, so I definitely expect that we will replace them. I know Board and also Dennis is working really hard to get the proper replacement in that aspect. And then, yeah, you said it, we never know. And that is the condition when you're a club and in a league like Feyenoord and the Eredivisie. Then, unfortunately, there are bigger clubs, bigger leagues that sometimes asking for our players. But at the moment, nothing is happening. And I'm happy if we could keep this squad together and hopefully then also bring in a little bit more power. As I said, we lost Mats and Minte, who played a big role last year.
Laatste vraag. Vorige week heb je natuurlijk bekendgemaakt wie je eerste doelman is. Wat heb je deze week aan Bijlo gemerkt? En wil hij eventueel vertrekken of blijft hij erbij? Wat kan je daarover vertellen?
I can only say he's been a top professional. Already last week and also in the weekend. Also during the game he was fantastic. The mentality he showed was a top professional. He supported Timon throughout the whole game and also when the penalties were coming up. Justin took a big responsibility trying to motivate the squad as well. I was really big respect to Justin in that aspect. And it's been the same this week. He's been training well. He's been pushing. He's doing his job. Whatever happens it's not really for me to answer that. But I can only say that he's been top class on the pitch.
Dankjewel.
Graag gedaan.
Dan gaan we naar achteren. Dennis, Rijnmond.
Brian, goedemiddag. Ik hoor je net zeggen, we hebben de beelden van PSV teruggekeken en het moet verdedigend beter. Kun je eens uitleggen wat er dan precies beter moet?
A lot of things, to be honest. A lot of things, I don't know. It's simple things in many aspects. It's the individual principles of how to defend either a man or how to defend a zone. There's some distances in the team that we're still struggling with. We're still working on some zonal principles that I believe are quite important in the defensive shape as well. We're getting there. We're having good talks. We're having good meetings. As I said, players are really proactive. When we watched the pictures, especially on Tuesday, I think it was, trying to make it clear for them how we need to work together when we defend the goal. Obviously, we want to do the high pressure, which we also saw against PSV some moments. That's the best part of it, get away from our own goal. But if we end up on our own half, then we also need to be able to wait for the right trigger to go into pressure, or we need to defend the goal in the right zones, the right areas. It's not just about bodies, but it's about the right positions, and that is still an element that we're working on, and I know we will improve really, really fast because we're working with clever players and smart players.
Ik hoor je net ook zeggen, het winnen van de Johan Cruijffschaal heeft de ploeg energie gegeven. Waar merk je dat vooral aan?
I think it's normal. When you win a prize, you feel the atmosphere is always going up in that aspect. And you definitely felt that the shoulders were a little bit down the next couple of days. But then it's also football. Then there's a new day, there's a new ambition, there's a new goal, a new target, new game coming up. And then you need to switch the mindset on again to be proactive regarding Willem II. And that's also what's been happening Thursday and today as well.
Als het over die wedstrijd gaat tegen Willem II, kun je uitleggen of je in het systeem zoals je dat tegen PSV deed, de manier hoe je speelde, of dat ook kan tegen ploegen als bijvoorbeeld Willem II, waarin je waarschijnlijk heel veel balbezit zelf zal hebben?
I think yes. Honestly, I know formation is a big talk, also here and everywhere, and it's fair enough. But I think especially from an offensive perspective, I think it's important to understand positions are floating on the offensive play. It's not just about a 3-4-3 and having players in those positions. It's the starting positions. Then the ending positions are maybe different. You saw it also last year. I think you guys played a 4-3-3. But if you look at the build-up, how did you build up? Most of the time, you build up with 3. So it's about the floating positions. It's about players to realizing, understanding when to move into certain positions and certain areas to create some kind of overload or at least to get the ball without too much pressure, so you can make some good passes forward or good decisions forward. That's what we as coaches are trying to help the players to find these positions on the pitch. And then it comes down to individual quality. At the end of the day, it's these guys out there, they make the decisions, they make things happen. And I think our boys are doing really well. And as I said already, I think the 4 goals we scored, I know a couple of them on penalties. But if you saw the attacks, I'm quite happy, man. We can go to Eindhoven and score 4 goals. I don't think you'll see a lot of teams traveling to Eindhoven this season and score 4 goals. So there's a lot of good things going on. Defensively, yes, we need to do better, and it doesn't matter if we play a back 3 or back 4. Individually, as a team, we need to do better, and it's my job to make sure that these guys understand what I'm looking for.
Sinclair vroeg al eventjes over de interesse in spelers van Feyenoord. Hoe zit het met de interesse van Feyenoord in Sepp van den Berg?
Yeah, it's again one of these questions that are not really for me when it comes specific. I think I've been quite open and also honest, saying we need to look for reinforcements. We need a bit more quality in. I'm definitely happy with the squad, but as I also mentioned, we didn't win last season, and at the same time we lost Mats and Minte. So I think it's obvious that we are trying to replace them. And as I said, it's not easy. It's 2 quality players who are now in the Premier League. So if you need to replace them 1-to-1, then it means we need to find a player from the Premier League, and that's not easy to bring him to Feyenoord, even though we're an amazing club. So it's difficult to find the right player or the right players. But that's the job we have, and that's definitely the job that Dennis have, and with the rest of the scouting and the board, that's what he's busy with, and trying to do his absolute best to reinforce us. And then it's my job until then to get the best out of the squad we have, which is also good. And so far we played for 1 title and we took it, and that's positive.
Zou hij wel iemand zijn? Is hij wel iemand waar jij gecharmeerd van bent, bijvoorbeeld?
From some of the players that Dennis has been bringing up to the table.
Ja, Sepp van den Berg bijvoorbeeld.
Yeah, it's a really good question, man. I think you know me already. I'm not going to talk about what if and who's maybe and all this. As I said, I have a really good squad. I have good boys, good players, and then as I said also, I expect it's normal transfer window, and we lost two key players. Then I think it's normal that new ones will come in. Who it is, when it is, we'll have to wait and see. And I'm sure that these guys will let you know when the right timing is there.
Laatste vraag nog, want we hebben het over de spelers die misschien komen of gaan. Jij bent hier zelf nu al wel. Hoe is het voor jou dat het seizoen nu echt gaat beginnen als je al een tijdje bezig bent?
It's much better. It's much better. Pre-season is good. It's a nice period in some aspects, but it's also it can also be a frustrating period in some aspects. So I really enjoy playing the game on Sunday against PSV. I really look forward to get the Eredivisie started tomorrow for us. It's the games that counts. That's why we're in this business. The atmosphere, the tension, the quality of the players and the teams, and the fights and all the emotions. That's why I'm in this game. And there's a little bit more stake when there's 45,000 people out here than a friendly game at the FEYENOORD against Sacre Bruges, for example, which is part of the whole process. But no, I'm definitely here for the games. Dank u.
Gaan we weer 2 rijen naar voren. Mikkels, AD.
Ja, trainer, goedemiddag. Vorig seizoen was natuurlijk een slechte start Feyenoord. En een van de analyses was dat de selectie nog niet op orde was. En nu noem je het een paar keer. Wiever en Minte moeten vervangen worden. Maar die zijn natuurlijk al geruime tijd weg. Is het zo moeilijk om dan iets te vinden? Is dat financieel gewoon heel moeilijk? Of is het niet makkelijk om de juiste speler te vinden? Of wachten jullie gewoon op het juiste moment om de juiste speler alsnog binnen te kunnen halen? En neem je dan maar op de koop toe dat je al aan de competitie begonnen bent?
It's again one of these tricky questions. I think I tried to answer it in the best way possible. Financially and all this stuff, it's not for me to discuss. That's for somebody else. I'm looking for quality-wise on the players. And when we want to reinforce Feyenoord, then of course we're looking at top quality when we have to replace Mats Wiever and Minte. And these players, they are not always easy to find. They are definitely out there for some certain extent. But at the end of the day, we need to be there at the right moment, and the player needs to find us attractive enough to pick us. And that can sometimes be a little bit difficult because we also want to make sure that when we take somebody from outside, then he's a big reinforcement in that aspect. So it's not as easy as it sounds. And as I said, we're busy almost every day. I know for sure the scouting department and Dennis for sure are doing the best they can to reinforce us so we're able to compete.
Het maakt je niet nerveus nu de competitie begon?
Never. I've been in football 30 years, both as a player and also as a coach. This is football. It's part of it. Of course, as a coach, you want your squad fixed the first day, but it's impossible. The transfer window is this long, so you need to adapt to it. And as I said, my focus is every day on the squad that I have at 1908. Do the best I can for these guys, help them the best I can, prepare them the best I can, and make sure we pick up some points. And there's no excuse for tomorrow. We need to go out, make a top performance that is possible to give us 3 points.
Oké, dankjewel.
Gaan we naar de andere kant. Martijn, microfoon komt eraan.
Heb je eigenlijk afspraken met Feyenoord hoeveel spelers er nog weg mogen? Ik kan me voorstellen dat je er niet nog 4 wil laten gaan.
Well, it's when it comes to who and when players are leaving or coming in, it's not an answer that I will give here. I don't think it's correct. But I think I said it a couple of times. I don't expect this squad will look like this at the 2nd of September.
Oké, dus je verwacht gewoon dat er nog wel 1 of 2, zonder een getal te noemen, weggaan. Dat denk je nog.
I think that's possible, yes. But who it is and when? We have quite a big squad. I think we had 27 players training yesterday. So that's quite a lot. There's also some players who
ja, de selectie.
Uit de selectie last year, for example. Yeah.
Ja, dan mogen natuurlijk wel een paar weg. Maar van je basisteam, dat hoop je toch niet?
Of course, I don't hope so. Expect is also a big word, but it's football. I already told you that the Eredivisie and Feyenoord, we're not in the biggest leagues, and if some of the bigger teams are coming and they want to pay the money that we're asking, then of course it can be difficult. But right now I haven't heard anything. I expect that we have a full squad, but in football you never know, and that's, I think also you guys have to remember that I can sit here and say I don't expect anybody leaving, but I don't dictate the game. It's football. If somebody comes and pays 100 million euro, then I think you're also in a position where you need to sell. That's part of football. That's why it's not black and white. It's small nuances here and there that you guys have to take in consideration as well. Right now, I haven't heard anything that somebody is leaving us from what you say and call the basis.
Oké, Willem II is je tegenstander. Die zijn nog gepromoveerd. Die heb je bekeken ongetwijfeld. Ben je onder de indruk of?
No.
Onder de indruk?
Yeah, of course. It's everybody who plays the Eredivisie are good teams. Everybody who plays here, they are coming to compete. Nobody will come to the Cup and just roll over. They're for sure gonna come here and make it difficult for us. They played a good 3-5-2 the last period and making it difficult for opponents to score goals. They got some good players as well on the team. Good striker up front also who can make it difficult. So we have the biggest respect for Willem II, and we definitely go into the game with respect, and then at the same time focus on our strength and focusing on how we're gonna beat them, and that's the main job we need to do.
Okay, thank you.